it's a little floppy disk. He puts it in, and it's kind of a Zork type game back from the day, the old text-based games. You don't remember Zork?
I'm not that kind of dork.
All right. You're not the Zork dork?
Nope.
You're not Zork lords?
I'm my own Zork dork.
Okay. Hey, Internet. It's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We're here talking about Mr. Robot, Season 4, Episode 11, Exit. Which is the penultimate episode of the series.
Yes, there we go.
Got a 2-hour finale coming in just a few days. This episode begins with Whiterose successfully surviving her encounter with the cops. It ends, very dramatically, bum bum bum, with what we're going to call Sweater Elliot confronting Hoodie Elliot.
Oh, we're not doing Prime
I know
and Alpha. Oh.
Now, we'll talk about. All right, so let's talk about that for a second. This show suddenly became Counterpart.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for J.K. Simmons to show up.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Counterpart, very good show. Only lasted 2 seasons. We covered it, and it's about J.K. Simmons and J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
There's 2 parallel worlds, and they have different lives because they had different experiences. One of them wears a sweater. No, anyway,
and one wears a hoodie.
Right. So, I remember back when we were first talking about doing Mr. Robot, there was a sort of like, well, is this completely sci-fi? Is this a Dork Lord material?
Really? I don't remember that.
I kind of remember, maybe in a parallel universe we had that. It was obviously this definitely fit within Dork Lords, but there was a little bit of like, well, it could just be considered as, hey, it's a modern drama thriller,
yeah.
But as of that episode, we were right. It belongs in Dork Lords material because there's kind of like 2 ways to look at it. One, there's a parallel world.
Yeah.
And that certainly is Dork Lord worthy.
Sure, why not?
The other is that it's all in his head, and that's also Dork Lord worthy, because that would make it like Legion.
Well, yes, but you could
Legion or Counterpart.
You could have said that from the very beginning, though.
Yeah.
You're right. Because Miss Robot was all in his head.
True.
Oh!
Good point. Oh! But in this case, we actually have him confronting, theoretically, himself.
Yes.
And so, anyway, but yes.
Somebody's got to be all in his head.
Somebody's all in his head. Dramatic episode. Whiterose survives her, she had enough bodyguards. And so killed all the cops off. As she's walking out of her mansion, she says to the one surviving cop, like, well, you were looking for Minister Zhang. Well, he's dead. But only Whiterose lives now, or something like that. And then, and he's dead.
Yep, he's dead.
So she survives, and we gather that she kind of immediately just heads off for the power plant.
Sure.
And then they kill more folks. So there's a big, the Dark Army folks, I'll call them Dark Army.
Why not? Sure.
Her minions.
Yes.
Kill a whole lot of folks in this episode.
Yes, they do. They're all dead.
So we then cut to Elliot talking with Darlene. We had that, we'd seen most of this exchange.
Yes, this is a recap or a revisiting a previous scene when Darlene says goodbye to Elliot.
Right, and they hug. Interesting. I think I interpreted it as at one point she's like, okay, that's enough hugging, and she tries to break away, and he's like, no, wait, and he like hold on to her, Laura, and she's like, oh, okay, I guess this is more important even to you then, okay, and he's he's saying goodbye.
He's apologizing. Actually, he's like thanking her for sticking with him even after the way that he's been pushing her away,
which is important for later in this episode when he's describing humanity, how he hates society,
yes, right.
But there are these few people, parentheses, Darlene,
yes,
who will love you even if you are trying to push them away.
Yes.
He then has a talk with Mr. Robot where he's like, look, we're going to do the thing. Mr. Robot's like, come on, there's always going to be another thing. You're like, where does it end? You said we were going to take down the Deus group. We did it. Done. At some point, you just got to walk away. And it's like, nah, well, there's one more thing to do.
Right. Was he not there when... When Price was saying you have to destroy this thing?
I mean, he was certainly in the room, moments earlier.
Right, but maybe the argument is, well, he's dead now.
Yeah, it's true. Who cares what that guy said?
Who cares? What promises you made to him died with him.
Wham, wham, wham. Yeah, what is he going to come back and go, I'm the ghost of Jacob Marley?
Yes.
Okay.
You will.
Okay. And there's a moment there where Elliot's saying, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own. And so go and be with your family, Mr. Robot. I don't know. But you see like his image of his mom.
Go off in my head.
You feel like, yes, the other three little personalities in his head are like all hanging out together as he walks away.
Darlene says goodbye, and then she walks past Mr. Robot like, you're not as bad, or whatever. I got used to you or something.
They've done that a few times this season in particular, where, like, for instance, in the very first episode with the surveillance thing, it was like, oh, Mr. Robot's over here, but he's over here. Oh, it must be in the camera.
Yes.
So I think it's just a camera trick. I think she's actually talking to Elliot. But you're right. I mean, in terms of
I think in her mind, she might have been saying to the character, because she was aware of that different character, and it's like, why are you here? Yeah. So I think she may have been saying. And
she was also, she said something like, oh, since you stopped being a dick, I've actually I think you're pretty cool.
Yeah.
So she's acknowledging, but you're right. It was almost as like, wait, is he over there by the car? A little tricky there. Elliot walks away by himself, which again comes back later with the video game. We'll talk about it, but he has to make the choice to stay. Don't leave me here is kind of the choice he has to make. So he goes to the power plant to put the malware in to stop the machine. This is all. If you told me the rest of this thing is all a fantasy, I'd believe you, because it all seemed a little too too like everything's great.
And Matt is very gullible, but there's reason though to.
Oh, interestingly, they do play. So as he's heading off, the little montage of him going to the power plant, they're playing Beach Boys' "Heroes and Villains," and I do feel like there's the hero versus villain theme is very prevalent in this episode. And part of that is also this notion of when Mr. Robot is talking to Elliot there in the beginning, where he's like, look, at some point you just have to walk away.
Right.
There's always going to be some, like, in other words, it's like talking to a hero to say, you don't have to be a hero all the time.
Right.
At some point you can just be yourself and go enjoy yourself. And Elliot's like, nope, I must go be heroic. And so he's off to go do the hero's journey. So heads out. Now, I don't know what his plan was. If the Dark Army hadn't gone in and shot everyone in the power plant, what was his? Did he have a plan to get in? Was he just going to walk up to the front gate and be like, I have an appointment with Whiterose?
I don't know.
But in any case, he didn't need a plan.
No, he didn't.
As it turned out.
Nope.
Because the whole place is, you see cars driving away, and he doesn't see dead folks right away, which maybe would have clued him off a little better, but to him it's like, oh, gatehouse is empty. All right. He walks in, puts finds a computer, puts the malware in.
Yep.
And there's a little moment of like, oh, that was easy. And then he sees like dead guy. He's like, uh-oh. And realizes, yep, the Dark Army's been here and has killed off a bunch of folks. They show up. There's that hamburger eating guy.
Right.
And his minion, I don't know what position he's got, but he's somewhere in the hierarchy, higher than the masked minions. And he doesn't kill Elliot. Everyone else is dead, but he escorts Elliot to this room, and it's Whiterose, and there's a big meeting, and a lot of the episode takes place here, where
all according to Elliot's plan.
So, much like when Whiterose was trying to convince Angela,
yes,
to join up. It's a similar
in that very room.
In that very room. So in this case, the room it's Elliot's old computer.
Yes.
It's Elliot's father's favorite book, Tolstoy's Resurrection.
Ah.
Oh, look, my pet fish is in the window. Whatever.
Probably not.
He's like, you got him there somehow, I think is what he says. They square off. Whiterose gives this kind of the standard villain thing almost. I mean, it's like I'm not bad for the world. I'm going to change it.
Yes.
All these deaths won't matter because in the next life it'll be great.
Yes.
And basically throws back at, we're alike. We're more alike, you and I, hero.
Yes, it's an old trope.
Yes, and so Elliot does the thing of like, well, yes, I do hate society, but
yes. She's like, what? Are you serious? Well,
look at the name
I
of your group.
hate people, I guess.
Touche.
Yeah.
Okay, you won. No, you did. That was easy. So Whiterose says that, she's going to show Elliot the same thing she showed Angela to convince her that they're on the same side. Then kind of goes the thing of like, you're going to have to make a choice. I give you a choice, and then she commits suicide.
Yes.
So she has a gun. She goes, pum, pum, shoots herself.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things he does is tells her, "Oh, you can't stop that thing because I put the malware in there."
Right. She's like, "Yeah, I already started the machine." How do you think we knew? We knew all about it the whole time.
Yeah.
And I guess since it's already started, the malware is ineffective because it was going to stop it from starting.
Yeah. So now, good luck stopping it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Good point.
Because of your malware.
The malware is keeping us from abort. This did occur to me. Actually, we just mentioned Legion, so I'll throw this in there. I'm not sure if this is the way it's going, but it does feel a little Legion-ish in that. Again, we covered that show. It's a very good show. That show has also run its series, but
sure.
There was, especially in the last season, Legion, who is this kind of very complex hero villain.
And it definitely all wasn't in his head.
It was not all in his head. Some of it was. But he's killing a whole lot of folks, kind of indiscriminately.
Yes, yes.
And his point is like, well, I'm going to change reality, so once that happens, these people will all be back. So it's not really like I'm killing them.
Yeah.
But he's killing
More
them.
explicitly, I am going to go back in time and Back to the Future this crap.
Right, right. But it makes all of his, he takes the ethics out of him, whether or not he should kill people in the present. Because he's like, well, they'll be fine. Yeah. And I kind of feel that's the way Whiterose is in a little bit. She's like, I'm killing people, including myself.
Yes.
Because I'm like, we'll all be back. Yep. So this means nothing.
Yep.
Anyway, just kind of the moral implications there of, look, I let myself off the hook.
Sure.
Because better times are coming. So now we have a dead Whiterose. The plant, she mentions before she dies, oh yeah, by the way, my machine needs a whole bunch of coolant. That's why it's here. And it's going to take all the coolant from the power plant. That's probably not good for the power plant. Elliot does the thing of like, what the hell, you're going to blow up? She's like, well, that's why I wanted to go to the Congo. I wanted to blow up the Congo where there are fewer people, but no, you had to keep things in the way, so it's your fault. So now the power plant is going to blow up because it doesn't have coolant. It does make me think, though, if the power plant blows up, doesn't that also blow up the machine? But maybe by then it's too late because the machine.
Yeah, or maybe since maybe it's the power of that feeds the machine.
All right. Ooh. Elliot, Miss Robot is telling Elliot, let's get out of here. Which, let's face it, if the power plant's about to blow up, running away is not really going to help.
Which is what he says.
But I mean, like you need to. Oh, the rocket car! Awesome! Thank God we have got
yeah.
So
that's what the point that Elliot makes.
Elliot makes is like there's no point in.
It's going to blow up the whole block or the whole city there. Forget it.
Yep. So the only real choice is to try to stay and stop the explosion from happening. To do that, Elliot opens up the Tolstoy book, flips through it, finds a copy of this game, Exit. Hence the title of the episode. And it's a little floppy disk. He puts it in, and it's kind of a Zork type game back from the day, the old text-based games. You don't remember Zork?
I'm not that kind of dork.
All right. You're not the Zork dork?
Nope.
You're not Zork lords?
I'm an own Zork dork.
Okay. In any case, it like shows a really simplistic little picture, and then they ask you, what do you want to do? Oh, I'll roll the barrel away. Oh, you see a secret passage. But in this case, he and a friend are trapped in a dungeon. He chooses to escapes, but it's obviously it hasn't ended the game. And then he realizes, he goes back, replays it, and instead of leaving, there's a note that his friend passes him. He reads the note, and it says, "Don't leave me." And so he decides to stay and not, basically almost like sacrificing himself to stay with his friend. Mm-hmm. That is what, at least in that moment, everything goes haywire. The screen goes red.
Yes.
And when next we see Elliot, he's Sweater Elliot. And Sweater Elliot is it's like living in Pleasantville, essentially. It's like everything seems to be kosher. He's going to get married to Angela the next day.
Yep.
He's the CEO of Allsafe.
Allsafe, yes.
And they make a big deal with F Corp.
Yes, F Corp.
Which is being run by Tyrell. And his dad has like a world's greatest dad. And he's this, there's no sign of any abuse, and they're best friends, and they're working together in harmony.
Yep.
And so, and we see that Whiterose in this reality is a incredibly rich philanthropist who donates all kinds of money to causes and stuff. Everything seems zippy, although we'll talk about how we start seeing little cracks in this reality. But that reality goes until he comes home, opens the door. There's Hoodie Elliot sitting at his computer. He says, "Who are you?"
Who are you?
And we're out.
Boom.
We're ready for our 2 hours.
We're ready.
Okay. Some of the oddities about this reality, because that's really the question: is what
is exactly going on?
If you've got some thoughts on that, please put them in the comments.
Please.
We'll chat about it. But a couple of things that were interesting. One, when we see happy-go-lucky Sweater Elliot talking to his dad on the phone, he tries calling his dad, no answer. Calls the Mr. Robot office phone. And he's like, "Oh, I tried to call your cell, you weren't there." He's like, "Oh, I must have lost my phone and left it somewhere." After the phone call, Mr. Robot walks into his shop, and there's his phone sitting on the floor. He picks it up. Oh, there it is. And the thing on the front, the little background, is a picture of the family. But in this reality, the family has no Darlene.
Yes.
Elliot is an only child.
Yes, what they specifically say at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Just to make sure you're
only child.
It wasn't just that the picture happened without Darlene there. It was like, no, there is zero Darlene.
Oh, that Darlene's not here. Take the picture.
So that's a huge difference between these realities, obviously, is that Darlene is gone.
Yes.
There's my phone. Great. Oh, there's that picture. Interesting. Done. Okay. Later, we've got Elliot is talking to his dad at a restaurant. They're celebrating that they got the F Corp account, and Elliot's like, "Oh, I'm going to drop off this book, the wedding present to Angela, but I need to make sure see if their parents are around. I'm going to call Angela's mom, Emily. Oh, hello, it's Elliot. Oh, that's weird. Yeah. She picked up, but she didn't say anything. Mm-hmm. Just hung up on me. Huh. Okay. Then in that same scene, oh, my wallet. Oh, I just must have forgotten my wallet. Mm-hmm. Odd.
Yes.
Okay.
Quite odd.
Why mention that? Then when he goes to Angela's, I don't know if it's Angela's house, Angela's parents' house. I don't know if she lives with her parents. Whatever.
Yes.
The house. I think it is. She lives with her parents. So he's at the house, and he notices in the trash can there's like a broken glass and like bloody paper towels.
Yeah.
Note. Okay. Interesting. All right, so here's what I think is happening. I think that in the moment when Sweater Elliot, we see him start his day, Hoodie Elliot is in this reality. And so it's Hoodie Elliot who went and took Mr. Robot's phone, saw that Darlene's not on it, kind of makes that leap of like, this is a different world. This picture always had Darlene in it. He is then, basically doing his sleuthing, his Hoodie sleuthing, probably takes the wallet from Sweater Elliot, maybe even thinks it's his. I don't know, but I think he's got that. And it may be in that moment when Sweater Elliot calls Angela's mom. She's in that kitchen looking at Hoodie Elliot. So hence when she gets a call, it's like, "Hey, it's Elliot," and she's like, "Oh, wait, there's two Elliots." That's why she breaks the glass. She probably ruins her hand at that point. And so what we're going to see is all of these scenes, we're going to see it from a different viewpoint. Hoodie Elliott's, Missy Elliott's, T.S. Elliott's viewpoint. Anyway, that's just a theory of mine. We'll see if that works out.
If that turns out to be true, you will be happy that you were right.
True.
But will you be happy that that's the
explanation?
Here's
what I kind of don't want is I think the nature of this show is such that if they just suddenly go, oh yeah, by the way, there's two universes, and there's a somewhat well-adjusted Elliot in one of them, it doesn't seem to fit the tone of this show, and I would be disappointed. I don't know about you. What are your thoughts?
If that ends up being how the world should be, I think that would be disappointing. So one thing I had thought that this is a result of some elaborate simulation.
True. I mean, Whiterose said, "This is how I convinced Angela to help me." So maybe.
Right. Yeah. So maybe all this is just something being generated in a computer or via drug-induced. Yeah. I would accept that. Though I might not be crazy about it, but I feel like it's within this theory of the show in a way.
I got you.
But the other thing I thought was that it's just a delusion of Elliot's that perhaps is independent of Whiterose. Just it's another break that he's having to deal with something painful.
Because maybe in this moment,
God, it would be terrible though if it was his last moments of his life where he finally failed and he just came up with this elaborate end to make it okay.
So, kind of like Brazil, right?
Yes.
In some ways,
yes.
It's Brazil, which was a great ending, but depressing as hell.
But the other end that I invoked is, if it turns out to be, it's a alternate universe, that perhaps this would be like The Prisoner. Where the whole story of The Prisoner, that he's a spy trying to escape this island. But at the very end of the show, it was revealed that, there were monkeys, and it was like this very surreal experience of him leaving the island. And there was what is it? All You Need Is Love was playing or whatever. It was just a very strange thing. So I'm hoping that this is not the end of The Prisoner.
I got you. No, gotcha.
Because you thought maybe it might be Fonzie jumping a shark.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Those are potential endings.
And I don't.
Of course, we're also leaving on the table the end of Newhart, or the end of St. Elsewhere,
right?
The end of Lost.
I'm going to go on record as saying I don't think it's going to be a parallel universe. I don't think it's going there. It hasn't.
He's committing.
It hasn't gone there for 4 seasons. Sure, it's hinted at this weird machine and what it might do.
We'll show you.
But I just don't feel like you do that on the last episode. Introduce this incredibly world-breaking concept and then go, all right, we're back. Bye. I'm out. I don't think you do that.
I hope you're right.
So I don't think that's it.
I'm not ruling it out.
A friend of ours, Darius, had a cool idea.
Hello, Darius.
Hi, Darius. Which was that perhaps Sweater Elliot is this third personality. That he's trapped, he's created this little world for himself. It's like, this is where I thrive.
Right.
And what's happening now is that world's breaking apart. He's getting the headaches.
Okay.
There's earthquakes. What's going on? And then maybe this is an attempt to bring out that version of Elliot, perhaps. Okay. The only thing that's weird about that is that it would be independent of the Whiterose thing, because it doesn't seem like it's connected to the machine and all that kind of stuff. But perhaps it is something that is disconnected in this moment of stress.
Right.
Let's face it. I'm in a power plant that's blowing up any second.
Why not?
It might cause some, disconnect or something. Although we do know, that's interesting. So I'm going to make a little connection here. When we had the bit where Mr. Robot was in the corporate boardroom of Elliot's mind.
Yes.
And he was trying to say, how do you contact this other personality? It's like through Darlene.
Right.
It's just interesting that this personality, if it is that, doesn't have Darlene.
Oh.
There is no Darlene in the picture. And so maybe that's a thing where in order to reach Sweater Elliot, you got to remind him about Darlene.
Interesting.
Perhaps.
Interesting.
Anyway. I'm not sure to what end that helps, bringing Sweater Elliot. If Sweater Elliot happens to be this other personality, does incorporating him help?
Right.
The moment, I don't know.
It's like, congratulations, you've incorporated your personality. The reactor will now shut down.
Right. You did the stay with your friend who is another personality, and so you successfully defeated my blow-up machine. I don't know. I did notice that this could be a complete coincidence, but I don't think it is. The game Exit, earlier this season, when they were trapped in the room, they were led into a trap by the guy who had used a fake name, and that fake name was a character from the play No Exit. And Elliot finds the book No Exit and realizes, we're trapped.
Yes.
It's just interesting that here at the end of the season, there's an episode called Exit, and there's this game that helps them escape, perhaps. Anyway, but there was that. Also, I did a little research on this. It led nowhere. But the book, he's getting a first edition signed copy of this book called From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler, that he's giving to Angela for their wedding.
Yes.
It's like a children's book. It won some awards. It's about two brother and sister that run away to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And then they find their way back. I don't know. Anyway,
okay.
I didn't get a lot out of it. It was like, deeper meaning. But
who knows?
In any case,
we'll find out.
We'll find out, perhaps. If they go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, then we'll.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes,
Got it.
Yes.
Those are the main tidbits. I know I'm forgetting something. The thing when he says, it's an exciting time in the world. That's a callback to what Mr. Robot said long ago, maybe season 1 even, I don't know. But it's at the world's about to blow up. It's an exciting time in the world. Then he says, I love you to Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot says he loves him back. It's kind of a nice little moment there where there's a meeting of the minds.
Sure, why not?
But yeah, that's all I've got. What about you, sir?
No, that's about it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And we've got the finale coming, so come on back for that. Thanks.